RDR fam, what is happening? Hope everybody had a great Thursday. Man, what a day in DR land. Yeah, so just looking at this chart right here, you can see, last night we talked about potentially, today was being a down day, and yeah, it was it. You had to be a little patient though. Had to be a little patient, and we'll talk about that. But if you were bearish today, and you picked the right spots to get into the market, you definitely had a good day. All right, so let's talk about it. I left some lines on the charts. We can talk through those and kind of what happened there. So, but let's start with our range like we normally do. All right, so and I'll make this bigger so you can kind of see it, and then we'll kind of zoom into the other parts as we need to. So today we had a roughly 15, 16 point range. And that range was right in our sweet spot of where we try to, have DR set up for us. All right, so let's talk about it real quick. Now, the first trade I had today was a loss. Yep, sure was. So let's figure out why. So we had this move here, and it was kind of a, kind of a zigzag setup today. So I really, I knew I had a strong feeling we're still going to be, bearish, but I wasn't exactly 100% confident in that bias. And so, the other thing was, you can see these wicks. We had some major wicks going on, right? We had wicks that were just pretty darn long. And so, no, that means to me, that tells me there's some indecision, right? And there's a lot of kind of things happening in the market and a lot of indecision with the market makers. And so, there wasn't really a solid direction, right? So that was one issue that I was like, I don't really feel that one. I don't really like it too much. All right, but then so we come down, and right at 10:35, we confirm low. Great. All right. So the bias is playing out. We go down a little bit more, then we come up, and here we break above the DR low. All right. So I said, okay, let me see what happens here. All right. So I did actually. So I put an order there, okay, because we went up and we start coming back down. So okay, good, we're going to come back down. And then as you can see though, the next candle we had just went up, and basically the next candle went up, and so that was me getting out of that trade. So took our full 5 point loss on that trade, because I was expecting, even if it got up here to IDR, I said, well, maybe it'll come back down, it'll pierce that and come back down, but it just kept going up. So that was so we started out the day kind of negative, but it's early, and again, like I always say, I'm expecting to take losses at some point, but I'm also expecting to get that back, right? And so that's my mantra I go by is, it's not a revenge trade, it's going to set up for me to get that back plus more. All right, so now here's where it got interesting, and I missed this first one. So price came up, right? So I got stopped out, and I'm seeing price continue to move up. And I said, oh, okay, well, we're going up toward this blue line, which is our 0.5 fib. And if you guys have followed any of my trades or recaps, 0.5 fib normally is a very strong support, very strong resistance. So, but again, same thing. It's also a rung on my ladder though, right? So I'm expecting the price to go up here and then come back down, so I can put my order right there, right? So price could pick me up on the way down. So that did not happen, right? So price went up to it, almost got to it, almost didn't quite get above it, didn't even touch it, but was right, a tick below that, and then it's just reversed. Okay, so now when I saw that reversal, my order was actually down on. I put an order on this 0.5 on IDR low. All right, because that's my next rung on my ladder. I could have put a trade here on the midnight open, but again, sometimes midnight will act as a support resistance. So I figured if it was going to bounce, it would bounce off of midnight, go back up that way. I'm down here. I wouldn't get picked up, and I'd be safe, right? That was my thought process. But as you can see, came down to midnight, and just really took the S44 or 22, and went down. Came down to midnight, came down to the IDR low. I got picked up on the IDR low, and took a quick 5 points off of that one. So that got me to that was like 44.17, which I think is this red candle right here, or this green, I can't remember. But anyway, somewhere in here I got take profit on that one. So, so I'm really basically back to even now, right? Except for minus some commissions, but I'm okay there. Now, if I was really paying attention to this, I could have actually just kept this trade for a minute, right? So I got out here, but it went down a whole other 5 points. And basically what reason why I left this, that red line, the first red line, if you notice, that's a monthly sell side liquidity. And also, if I can turn this on real quick, there's also, and I hate to muddy up my charts a bit, but these new week gaps are around. And I turn it on. All right, so if we notice, I'll pull them up later because I don't know why it's not showing where I want to show. All right, never mind. But there are new week gaps, and I'll talk about those. I don't know why I can't see them, but I'll talk about them. Or it's just too light on my screen. I'm not sure because I'm on my tablet, and usually I do it on my phone or on my computer too when I'm doing those new week opening gap type looks. But anyway, so down here, let's get back to what we talked about. So we have sell side. This is a monthly sell side, right? You can't get much more powerful than that, right? So from a previous month, I'm not sure what month it is. That's where price reversed back up, right? So that's where sell side was. I mean, that there were orders down there. And so monthly, of course, to me, is stronger than the weekly, of course, which is stronger than the daily, et cetera, right? So if you notice what happens, we come down and we just continue to bounce off of that sell side, right? That monthly sell side. Now, interestingly, we had done that the night before. We had actually went right below it with the wick and then came back up to it. That's why I left it on the chart. Kind of glad I did because I see what happens. It just it bounced, right? So really nice bounce here. Now, if I was really scalping today, which I really wasn't, I could have taken a bounce off of here, and I could have gotten quick 5 points off of these pretty easily, right? Because it bounced here. So that's 44.11 basically. That's 44.17. So that's 6 points, 6 points. You can kind of see all through here where you could actually have, kind of taken the trade and gotten some scalp points if you really wanted to, but didn't do that. Wasn't that committed today. All right. All right. So we had that price comes back up again, goes back up. Now it goes above the IDR low, goes above DR, goes above IDR low, and then it goes above midnight. Right. So we're wet there, and then look what it does. It goes right back up to our 0.5 fib. Right. And what does it do? Rejects again. Okay, but this time I was ready. All right, so when I saw that happen, I saw that rejection happening, I actually had an order in at 44.26. Okay, so about a point and a half below that 0.5 fib, and part of that was I couldn't get in fast enough. I saw it. Again, I'm always looking for price to go above a rung on the ladder and then come back and pick me up that way. But in this case, it didn't do that. It went right to it and then started coming back. So I had to get in really quick. So when I set my limit order, I set it for that 44.26, right? Don't ask me why I picked that number. That's just, again, it was a point and a half. Gave me enough time to place the order and for it to get picked up. All right, so get picked up there. And then, so that's at 26 and it comes down. And again, now I'm at 44 and another 5 points, 44.21 out of that trade, right? No muss, no fuss. Okay, so now I'm like, okay, I'm getting comfortable now. I say, okay, I see what it's doing, right? It's going down. It's going up to the 0.5 fib and then rejecting off of that. It's done it, a few times now. So now I'm ready. All right, so this time it comes up. I do the exact same trade. Okay, so now it's 44.26. All right, so I'm in the trade. And I remember I'm running 2 contracts, right? Two ES mini contracts, right? And so this time what I decided to do was, okay, I'm pretty good. I made my loss back. I'm up for the day. And so what I did was, when price came down, right, I took the 5 here, right? So that was 21 again. So 26.21 again, right? So what I did was, okay, so I got out, I saw price come down, I saw it go back up, and it went back up into this bearish fair value gap. I said, okay, that's interesting. Also, that bearish fair value gap was in between the midnight open and the IDR low. Okay, so I put an order here, 2 contracts, on IDR low, right after it went up. Came down, picked me up. Okay, so that's at 44.22. I take 5 points. Now, what I was saying, what I did differently this time was I said, I'm very quick to get in and get out of these trades when I get my profit target and I get out. Nothing wrong with that. I do it all day long. This time I was like, let me see what happens if I take just one contract off, right? So at 5 points, at 44, at 17, I took off one contract. Okay, and I said, I'm just going to let the other one play out. So this is something I did, which I do not encourage you to do. All right, I did it because I was okay with the loss, because now with one contract, a 5 point stop loss is only $250. Right, I've been running two contracts all day. So each time I had a win, that was $500, right? Right. So because 5 points, basically $100 a point, right? When you run two contracts. And so this will be half of that. So my risk was even half of what it would have been normally anyway. So once I got out the first 5 points, so I took the 250 profit there, and then I said, I'm gonna let the other one play out. Now, what I normally would do is I would go in and just kind of keep moving my stop loss down. I mean, not stop loss, I would move my take profit down, right? So I can make sure it just keeps running. So in this case, and don't try this at home unless you're just really okay with your risk and okay with what might happen. I just took off the take profit line, right? I said, just let's see what happens. All right. Now I did leave the stop loss on there. My stop loss was still 5 points. And so it was 5 points from where I got in at, which was on this IDR low. Okay, so I had 5 points up here. That's 22. I had to 27. Basically had back up to the 0.5 fib for it to stop me out. Okay, but that didn't happen. So I was already out down here at 17. All right, that was my one contract. So the other one just ran. And let's see, and you guys can see what happened for the rest of the day. We went down, right? Remember we had that monthly sell side? We actually took out a daily sell side here. And I thought I would actually, I thought that's where we would actually stop, but I was like, yep, I'm just gonna let it play out. And then, so that's basically 4,400. So that's 22 points at that line. And then coming down all the way down to, I want to say, now this is also bad. Don't do this at home. I sold this trade when I was in the car driving home. Right? That's bad. Don't do that. But I was like, well, I had to get home, so I said, well, I'll just let it play out some more, see what happens. All I'm gonna do is press the X on the order, on TradingView. So I'm not like I'm setting limit orders or anything like that. I'm just gonna press X when I'm ready. All right, so 22, and I think this went down to the 92. I want to say I got in right at this daily. There's another daily sell side that here, so I want to say I got out right around here. So 86 or whatever, how many points that is, that's about probably 30 points or something like that. It was a good trade. All right. But it was only half what I was expecting because I only had one contract. But I'm okay with that. I trust me. That was a good trade. So anyway, so that was the DR adventure for today. Again, a lot of opportunities there. But remember, I started with a loss, and if I let that loss affect me, then I probably would have not taken these other trades, right? I'm very mechanical when it comes to this strategy, right? If I see what I'm supposed to do, and I just do it, right? Because again, like I always say, I'm gonna either two things gonna happen. I'm gonna either win or I'm gonna lose, and the majority of the time I'm gonna win. So I'd rather take that chance rather than, I'd rather risk losing than risk not winning. If that makes sense. And then sometimes you get these opportunities where you just, you could really, really win, right? And so the reason why I did that, though, is because, I had this trade over here where I got out early, all right? And I was like, man, I could have, that could have been something pretty good. And then I saw this trade come down and I got out, but I was like, it has to go at least back to here, right? That's where it's going to go because it never broke that. It didn't break that over here, so it's going to break that. And so that's why I kept that one contract on to be able to do that. So anyway, so a lot of fun times. Don't trade and drive, right? That's not a good thing. But again, I was just pressing one button, to get out of a trade. So, well, actually, Chuka had to confirm it, but neither here nor there. All right. Anyway, guys, that's it. Hope everybody again had a great day. Again, it was a fun day. Tomorrow is something. Tomorrow we have. Hold on. Let's see. Tomorrow we have. Oh no, we don't have anything tomorrow. Or maybe let me make sure I'm looking at a week. Uh, oh no, we have nothing tomorrow. But tomorrow is probably uh, tomorrow quad which day might be. Anyway, we'll see what it does tomorrow. But anyway, we're just gonna look at the market and see what the market does because that's what we do, right? We react to the market and then let the market take care of itself. All right. Anyway, guys, have a great one. Love on your loved ones. You never know when you won't be able to do it again, so take advantage of it. Coming up on the 1 year anniversary, I don't know if that's what you call it, of my dad's passing. So I'm starting to feel that a little bit. I miss that dude. But yeah. Anyway, all right, guys. Love you. We'll see you.